Hello, my name's Kathryn Alexander and I'm the author of Dietary Healing, the Complete Detox Program. The book in its original form was written for my patients, and they were people who came who had a chronic disease, who a lot of them had tried medical treatment and it wasn't working, or no more treatment could be offered. So they came, many as a last resort, to see if they could restore their health using diet. A chronic disease is technically an incurable disease. It means that you've got it for life and that it can only be controlled through the use of drugs. Well, the statistics at the moment are that 40% of the population in Western countries have a chronic disease. That's across all age groups, not just in the older populations, but in the young generation as well. And I think that figure is set to rise by up to 50% in the next 10 years. Well, there's two main factors that we can actually look at where there's been a massive change over the last 50 years. That's chemical toxicity, that's in the environment, the food that we eat, including all the preservatives and additives and the pesticides, agricultural chemicals, and there's depletion in the food chain. So we're looking at deeper mineral deficiencies, and the change in what we eat. So there's a much higher ratio of processed food, sugars, fructose. All of those things have unbalanced I believe, the constitution and led to this chronic degeneration in our health. Well, I think most treatments that are available tend to deal with what I call the disease potential. So they will just address how that disease is occurring in the body, the symptoms. What dietary healing does is it addresses the healing potential. That means you're changing fundamental conditions at cell level. You're restoring the cellular environment so the body can start to heal itself. As the healing potential rises, that in turn sees a decrease in the disease potential, and that's what we're generating. It's a raising of the inherent vitality. Vitality, that's it's like a red rag to a bull. It's something that you can't scientifically measure or quantify, so therefore it technically doesn't exist. It's like the elephant in the room, where everybody knows it's there, but everybody tiptoes round, they turn the other way, they don't talk about it. And yet it's the thing that determines whether you get better or not. So any physician will look at a patient, and if they are relatively strong, young, even if they've got a disease, that doctor may say that person's likely to do well, much better than someone with a weaker constitution. So what is it? It's actually the inherent vitality, or the capacity of a patient to respond to treatment. It's that determines the outcome and not the treatment itself. So what we're doing in dietary healing is building that inherent vitality in order to get the patient the best outcome possible. 7,000 books have been sold now. That's from my website as a self-publisher, so pretty good going. It's made it more easily accessible to people. It was a heavy book, weighed a kilogram, so sometimes the postage would cost more than the book. The book's gone all over the world, so you can imagine the costs incurred, say, sending it from Australia to America or South America. So, and of course, it's less carbon footprint on the planet, less paper. The book, along with all the explanations and the capacity for the patient to really understand and interpret their case, is immensely empowering. And I've found that once patients really understand what they're doing and why, that they can, then they have the will to follow the diet, because it's not a short-term thing. You're not going to see results within a week or 2 weeks. For some patients it will take up to a year before they're going to see results, particularly if they're very, very sick. So it's really what will keep them going on from day to day to day is the understanding of what they're doing and why they're doing it. Heaps of books have been sold in Mullaney, in the community where I live, and I think, you know, at some time or another everybody has probably been on my diet. Can get a bit tricky sometimes if I'm in the supermarket and people stop by and have a look at what's in my shopping trolley.
And have people given you feedback from locally in terms of whether they've actually picked the diet up and they've used it and it's had any effect on them?
Yes, I've had feedback, but I think probably what's most telling is the warmth that I receive in the community. So I think, well, I've obviously not poisoned anybody, and they're obviously feeling good on it.